Hello guys, my name is Max. I'm an English teacher. Today we're going to talk about an article which is about kindness and more specifically about people cannot help each other. How we're going to do that? I'm going to read to you article, so paragraph by paragraph. We're going to look at what they try to say, what the author tries to tell us, and then we're going to look at the words which I find the most interesting actually, and I'm going to try to explain them to you, and we're going to learn them this way. Plus, you're going to listen to me, try to train your listening this way. So let's start. First, let's read the paragraph. The kindness test is the world's largest survey on what it means to be kind. It shed light on the barriers that stop us being kind, but also that empathy truly is international. I was out running the other day when I saw a man and a woman at the end of the street trying to lift a double mattress out of a van. They were clearly struggling. I was wearing trainers, I wasn't carrying anything, I wasn't in a rush, I could offer to help, but if I did, might the woman think that I thought she couldn't manage it because she was female? By now, they had got the mattress into a back garden and were starting to heave it up an outdoor staircase. The fence was too high for them to see me, so to offer to help, I'd have to go into the garden uninvited. Would I be intruding on their privacy? Might they mind? So in this paragraph we see a situation when a guy, he clearly sees someone needs help and he really wants to help, but something stops that. And this article will unveil those barriers and problems which really stop us from helping others, like in this guy's situations. So he saw people trying to lift the mattress. We can use this word lift, of course, or pick up the mattress, and he wanted to help them, but he said to heave it up. So what is that? To heave means to lift something, but at the same time it requires a lot of effort to do. So it's really hard. Maybe the mattress is huge. Maybe, I don't know, it's a king size super fat mattress, which is really hard to lift. That's why we need maybe a few people. It takes like around 5 people to heave it up, especially if you need to take it to, I don't know, onto the 10th floor without any elevator or whatever. So it's pretty hard to do. The next word he used, he said, I wasn't in a rush. So actually it was okay. Nothing could stop him from helping those people because he wasn't in a rush. He wasn't in a hurry as well. We can say it the same way. He had time, but at the same time, he couldn't help. Yeah, he decided not to do so. And why? We're gonna learn it today. Another reason why he didn't want to help them is intrusion. Because, there is such a thing as intrusion when basically you do something uninvitedly, when nobody asks you to do that, but you still try to do that. The same works with help, basically. You try to help someone, but nobody needs your help, basically, and that can be viewed as an intrusion on your privacy, your life, or whatever. Now let's go to the second paragraph. By now, it was all a bit too late and they were halfway up the stairs. I was probably overthinking it, but it seems I'm not alone in being cautious about offering to do something kind for a stranger. Back in August 2021, we launched the kindness test on BBC Radio 4. It was an online questionnaire created by a team at the University of Sussex, led by the psychologist Robin Benry. More than 60,000 people from 144 countries choose to take part, making it the world's largest psychological study on the topic of kindness. So we can see from this paragraph that they decided to have a test, and test a lot of people from around the world and see like how many of them would be, I don't know, willing to help, or why they do not help, or when they receive their help. And so as we can see from this situation, he was looking at those people heaving that huge mattress up onto, I don't know which floor, but at the same doing nothing. He said that he was overthinking. It's a really nice word to use. Pick up this word, use it, please. So what is that, overthinking? It means basically that you think too much. When we use this preposition over, it means that we add some time, I don't know, we do it more than we really need, and overthinking often stops us from helping someone at the time when you really just need to help to do something here, right now. You start thinking, oh, might be intrusion, oh, I should be cautious about something. Yeah, you mind things. You try thinking a lot, but this is overthinking, basically. Okay, let's move on. As well as scales measuring personality, well-being, and empathy, kindness was assessed by asking people how often they carry out a long list of kind acts. The variation in responses was large, with some people very honestly admitting that they weren't kind very often, and others showing high levels of kindness. When asked when they had last received an act of kindness, 16% of people told us they said it was within the latest hour, and a further 43% said it was within the last day. It was clear that whatever people's age or wherever they lived, kindness was very common. So as we can see that some people they abstain from helping others, but at the same time a lot of people receive help, and pretty often. So we can see that kindness is really common everywhere in all of the countries. Yeah, they tested 144 countries. It means that it's really common. So this phrase, to be common, means that it's everywhere. You can see, you go there, you can see that. So pretty much a lot of kindness in the world, and thanks God it's true, and we are still kind to each other. Another word they used was to be assessed. Measure and assess, basically it's the same. So when we measure, we get some measurements, like we can measure in meters, in kilometers, in something with scales, I don't know, whatever we can use to measure. And assess is basically the same, but maybe without any, I don't know, units, specific units of measurements. We just assess in general. Basically they are synonyms in this case. Yeah. And then we have to admit. So some people admitted that. It means that they said that. Basically it's to say the truth. Yeah, they, of course, it's truth that they do not help people much. They admitted that. But at the same time, a lot of people received help within the last hour or something. So this within, it's a really nice preposition. You can really use that with time mostly. So you have a span of time, I don't know, 4 hours or something. If something happens inside that period of time, you can say it is within. Yeah. Or sometimes we can use it with borders, territory. Let's imagine we have a country, territory, and inside of this territory, something happens. We can say within this limit, something is going on. Okay, let's go to another one. But there are barriers which prevent us from being kinder still, and we were keen to explore those in the kindness test. When people were asked to rank a list of possible factors which prevented them from carrying out kind acts, most common reason respondents gave was that they feared they might be misinterpreted. This reminds me of my hesitation to offer to help carry the mattress. Not because I didn't want to help, but because I was afraid it might come out the wrong way and cause offense. So here we can see that this guy didn't help because of the barrier. Yeah, in his case, the barrier was hesitation, first of all. Yeah, when we're trying to help someone, but we think a lot, again, we overthink, and as a consequence of that, we hesitate. We don't do that. We really want to do this. We're about to do that, but we hesitate, and something stops us from doing that. Another word he used is to be keen to do something. Yeah, so this BBC 4, Radio 4, they were keen to explore what it means. So we can use like a be keen to do something, which means that you want something, you're interested in doing something, you're keen to do that. For example, I'm keen to tell you something cool about kindness, for example. Yeah, I want to do that. I have some kind of interest in that. Also, keen on, we can use keen on. Yeah, why not? We say I am keen on plus a verb with ing, or just a noun. Yeah, for example, keen on music, keen on films, I'm keen on whatever, karate, judo, whatever. It means that I like doing it, basically. You can use to be keen on instead of like. That's cool, actually. Yeah, also he said about the barriers, yeah, which prevent us from helping someone. So prevent you can use instead of stop. So if something stops you from doing something, you can say it just prevents you from doing that. Pretty easy. Stop, prevent. Actually, it's mostly the same. Another word was to cause offense. So this guy, he was afraid that if he does something wrong, or if something he said comes out the wrong way, it would lead to offense. So what is that? Offense. Offense is when people just get offended. Yeah, they don't like something, and they can cry, I don't know, they can be angry or whatever because of your action. It may really cause offense. Unsolicited help really is not really good. And then he used another phrase, which is come out. He said like this: come out the wrong way. So really nice idiomatic phrase. You can use it as well if you're afraid that something you do will result into something really bad. Maybe the intention is cool, you want to do something great, kind, but in the end, probably, I don't know, at the end of this kind act, something come out the wrong way. It means that, you helped maybe, but then something went wrong, and probably you regret helping actually in the first place, helping bad people. Let's move on. Sometimes well-intentioned acts of kindness can be fraught, like offering a seat on the bus to a woman who might or might not be pregnant, and sometimes we fear embarrassment or rejection. So yeah, here we have another 2 reasons why we do not help others, and that really prevents us from helping people, which is can be fraught. Yeah, something can be fraught. What is that? So fraud means when people look at something or may look at something in the wrong way. Yeah, in the wrong way, they kind of you try to help. Really, the intention is cool, like this pregnant lady on the bus. So you say like, okay, can you please have a seat? But she's probably not actually pregnant. Yeah, maybe she's a little bit overweight or something, and then you can find yourself in a really ridiculous position when you offer help, but like she doesn't really maybe need this, and that's might be a problem for you. Embarrassment is like when you feel shy and awkward, facepalm and so on. And rejection, yeah, so this is really bad feeling when you try to help someone but they say no, I don't need help, or when they even become angry about that, but you just try to help, but it can actually, your unsolicited help can lead to that. That's true. Let's move on. This might explain why the most common kind act that people reported carrying out was helping people when they ask. Now that might sound a little grudging. How truly kind is an act if you have to be asked to do it? But to me, it seems instructive that this came top. Perhaps we are nervous about offering help, but very happy to do it once we know the person welcomes our assistance. So here we have a really interesting question. If we are asked to help, is it a real help? Yeah, of course it is help anyway, but it doesn't feel like a real, maybe true, genuine help, because like you're asked to do that. Yeah, maybe you don't want to do that, and it feels a little bit grudging. Yeah, grudging. What's a grudge? Or we can say to hold a grudge. When something does something bad to you, and you feel like this, negative feeling about that. If somebody did something bad to you, you feel that, oh my God, I don't like this guy. So you hold that grudge. And when the same happens with help, yeah, when somebody asks you to help, it feels a little bit grudging because you help out of, I don't know, just this inquiry, this question, not just because you really want to help, yeah, and do that. So that might be a little bit grudging. Let's move on. There is another finding which might shed light on our reticence. The biggest factor associated with kindness wasn't age or income, but personality. We used a scale which measured what are known as the big 5 personality factors. Not surprisingly, the kindness people scored high on agreeableness, but they also scored high on extroversion and openness. So of course, from here we can see that those people who are kind, just generally kind, they are helping more. Yeah, they help even more because they score more on agreeableness. What is agreeableness? Is when you really want to help someone, you're kind to others. This is agreeableness. Yeah, this is your trait basically. If you're open, I don't know, extrovert probably, so you score more on agreeableness. To shed light on something, yeah, so this kind test really sheds light on like why we do not help people. Yeah, to shed light means to highlight, to show, to explain, so to make it visible for us. Yeah, all of those reasons why we don't do that. Shed light on. Shed we can use with anything actually, like for example fur. Cats can shed their fur, and basically just throw something with light, just to lit some light, or just to light something up, can be used as well. Reticence is that, again, it's something that stops us from doing something. So again, it's a trait. Yeah, maybe we want to help, we want to smile, but something inside doesn't let us do so. I want to smile, I want to be agreeable maybe or something, but I don't know, my mood, I don't know, something stops me, or I don't know, some cultural stuff stops me from doing that. That is reticence. Let's move on. I wonder whether these people feel more able to offer their help, not necessarily because they want to help anymore than anyone else, but that their extroversion, their openness, their fondness for new experiences make them less fearful of what might happen when they do. So, really, again, in this case, we can see that people who are more open, extrovert, they're really they're easy to help anybody else. Yeah, they are pretty easy to help because probably they have less fear and they are not afraid of getting that kind of stuff of things. So those people, sometimes if a person cannot help you, or he's not that willing to help, maybe not because he doesn't want to help, maybe he really wants to do that, but he's just not that much open, yes, and he's just afraid, you also should understand the person, that people who really doesn't want to help you, I mean, not because he doesn't or she doesn't like you, but because he's just not that open. Yes, he or she's just shy or afraid, to do that. So we should also bear that in mind. Another good word here is fondness. Fondness is like to be keen and to be fond of something, which means basically the same. You can say, I'm fond of that. I'm fond of music. I'm fond of, I don't know, whatever it may be. Like with keen, the same. I'm keen on music. I'm fond of music, the same. And fondness, basically the same, like when you like something. Let's move on. And for those of us who hesitate to help, we can take comfort from the answers people gave when we asked them how they felt after receiving an act of kindness. The words most commonly used were happy, grateful, loved, relieved, pleased. Less than 1% of people said they felt embarrassed. We also found that even when you take personality into account, people who talk to strangers more often not only observe, but receive more kindness themselves. So what we can see from here, to take comfort from something, to take comfort from something, which means that when you hear something and it makes you feel okay, better, good, more relaxed, pleased, or something, it means that we can take comfort from that. Or to comfort someone when somebody is crying and you say like, relax, everything will be okay. So what you try to do is you try to comfort this person. Let's move on. Gillian Sandstorm from the University of Sussex, who was on the team analyzing the kindness test, has found that our fears of talking to strangers, usually don't live up to the reality, and people tend to enjoy it more than they expect to. So live up to the reality. What is that? It means that the reality matches, or if doesn't live up to, so it doesn't match our expectations, for example. Let's say you want something cool, you go to a university and then you want a really good salary, but once you finish the university, you don't get all of that. So it means that it doesn't live up to reality, those situations. But in this case, when you expect kindness, actually you feel like you will help and that's all, but people can really be like more pleased, and you may feel that pleasure, gratitude, and so on, and you can get it even more than you expect. So that's why they say fears of talking to strangers usually don't live up to the reality. There is no such fear. Fear is so big, but in fact this fear is super small. That's, you have this fear, I understand, but when you really do that fear is not that huge, actually, as you thought maybe about this fear before. Let's move on. When regions of the world were compared, the fear of misinterpretation was lower in the US than in the UK or in countries in Africa. In the USA, the use of social media was more often given as a barrier to kindness. Worldwide, the second most common reason people gave for not being kinder was lack of time, especially in Western and Northern Europe. This seems to be less of a factor in Northern America or Southern Europe. It is true, of course, that if you want to volunteer, you need to have time to spare, but plenty of the other kind acts people can carry out don't take time. The most common act of kindness that people told us they had done recently was to say something kind to someone, which tends not to take too long. So of course, to help someone you don't need a lot of time. So here they use really nice phrase, time to spare, or to spare time. which means to give time to someone. Yeah. So the easiest kind of thing you can do is just to say something good. Yeah. To anybody, like, oh, you look nice today, your shirt is nice, I don't know, you speak English pretty well, whatever, just a good thing. It doesn't take long. You don't need a lot of time for that, but still it gives this kindness. You spread kindness, you get those nice feelings, cozy feelings inside you when you help someone or say something cool. So that's great. Let's move on. Robin Banerjee from the University of Sussex, who led the kindness test, demonstrated that people are giving, seeing, and receiving a lot of kindness everywhere in the world, but based on our admittedly English-speaking sample, there are some tentative trends too. The data showed that this can be reduced to a simple East versus West comparison or collectivistic versus individualistic countries. We found a much more nuanced pattern. We could have to quite industrialized, westernized countries with different views about. So here we have a word tentative, which means something like maybe thin, small, not that huge, yeah, trend. And we cannot simply divide countries into Western and East, yeah. So kindness is everywhere. It doesn't depend on the place where you live. Kindness is kindness, and everybody can be kind. Everybody can be unkind at the same time. It depends only on it depends on the person, his characteristic, personality traits, everything like that. It's not about culture pretty much, or I don't know, religion or whatever it may be. Also nuanced, they use very nice words. It is nuanced, so it means something, yeah, exquisite, maybe something which is difficult, not that easy, which is complex or complicated. It is nuanced, very nice word to learn as well. Let's move on. Just over a quarter of people worried about their kindness being perceived as a weakness. Yet we also know from the kindness test that after giving an act of kindness, people not only feel more connected to others and happier, but they said it helps them to feel as though they are a good person and adds meaning to their lives. So you can see that kindness is overall just a helpful thing, but sometimes only like a small number of people, they view kindness as weakness. I don't know who would like really do that, because kindness is actually a powerful thing. It's not weakness or something, but still some people can view kindness, a kind act, as weakness. I think it's ridiculous, really. Don't do that, really. Don't do. Let's go next. And that's just the givers. Receiving kindness makes us feel good too, and is associated with high levels of well-being. This is just the start of the analysis of the data from the kindness test, and many more papers on the findings will be published in scientific journals. But taking all this evidence into account, perhaps we need to start trying to view kindness not as weakness but as strengths. And maybe next time I run past people maneuvering a mattress, I'll summon up the courage to offer to help. So you can see there that of course it's a pretty stupid idea to view kindness as some kind of weakness. It's not, of course, it's strengths. And we have a really nice article and the findings. So by the way, about this word, to find something, yeah, just to find something, like, oh, I found my phone. But findings, it's something else, yeah, because we cannot use the verb find in gerund, like I'm finding something. No, we cannot. But finding can be a noun. So let's say you found something cool. I found my iPhone here. This is my finding. So it's a noun, it's a thing. Or I found a nice fact about kindness. It's also a finding, so it's countable. And scientists, they every day find something. It is their findings at the same time. Take into consideration or take into account something. We have a lot of evidence, yeah, from this thing, yeah, from this article, that kindness is a cool thing and we must be kind. And we can take everything we know, all the data we have, into account. So we can think about it, basically, yes, take into consideration and use it somehow to get possible outcomes, or write another paper about that. So we need to keep it in mind, think about it, and always know that. So it means to take into account. What else we have here? To maneuver. To maneuver here is an interesting and funny word to use. To maneuver is like to move, yeah, like a car or something can move when it drives or something. And in this case, maneuver a mattress basically means to move it somehow, or like to transport it from one place or carry it from one place to another. The same we can use maneuvering in this case as well. Summon up the courage. Summon up the courage. What is summon up? Summon up when you collect things, yeah. In games, we use it a lot. We can summon up some creeps, for example, yeah, to fight, I don't know, a tower or something, or a castle, or base, enemy's base. The same we can do with courage. So what is courage? Courage is this inside power we have, which help us to start doing, actually, to overcome that hesitation we talked about before, and that overthinking. Yes, stop overthinking and do something. So we should summon up this courage and start doing something and help those people who really need help stop thinking too much. So that's pretty much it about this article. I really love this article. Of course, I will leave a link there in the description. You can read it yourself and learn all of the words from this article, which is super cool, super cool. I advise reading that. Absolutely insane. A lot of interesting words. You can literally learn and start using them. It will really boost your language really high. Also, this is my not the first video, but anyway, I decided to start doing something like that, maybe to help you a little bit, guys, share my thoughts about something what I'm interested in, something I'm keen on with you, and maybe you can help me. Give me a like, subscribe if you like this video. I will try to give you more if I have enough time. So thanks for watching. Bye bye.